I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, Bibliomancer, and my new Bibliomancer, Lourdes. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support toward my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Patrick here. So it has been 2 weeks since the previous episode of SFF Spotlight. So welcome. Welcome to SFF Spotlight episode 39. Yes, so because it has been 2 weeks, apparently the number of news I'm going to spotlight today has increased to even more than 30. Yeah, I know, it is a lot. I think moving forward, I do not want to wait 2 weeks before I release the next episode, if possible anyway, because this is just too much, as you can probably tell from this episode. But anyway, I will try to be brief with each topic. And for those of you who are new here, this is a series of videos where I will talk about new book news, new special edition, new cover reveals, and new novelty release in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And just like the previous episode, I will start by talking about the Kickstarter projects first. Today I have 5 Kickstarter projects to spotlight. I will start with the one that has gone live first. And the first one is about the Ragnarok Prophecy Deluxe Edition Volume 1 until Volume 3 by Matt Larkin. This Kickstarter campaign will combine all the Ragnarok stories by Matt Larkin into one deluxe edition. And in total, for the first 3 volumes, it will be about 1,350 pages long, and it will combine 3 series into one connecting narrative because all of them takes place in the same world. And as you can expect, the special edition will have a Smithsoon binding, premium acid-free paper, and also a slipcase. The cover art is done by Rachel St. Clair, the interior artworks is done by Andrew Malaski, and hopefully Dennis Kornev as well. Plus, there is something, in my opinion, really special about this Kickstarter campaign. It has a map done by my favorite cartographer of all time, and that is Francesca Berald. So yeah, make sure to check out this Kickstarter campaign before it is over. I think there is only about a week left before the Kickstarter campaign ends. And moving on to the second Kickstarter campaign, this will be again for Alpha Clash The Awakening by AJ Light or Alpha Clash team. So right now, there is only one more stretch goal to meet at $100,000. It's really nearly there. And for those of you who loves superhero stories and also, well, beautiful hardcovers, I highly recommend you to check out this Kickstarter campaign. If you have seen the previous episode of SFF Spotlight or on my book haul video, you might have seen the paperback copy that I showcased. The paperback copy of Alpha Clash The Awakening. And well, from this digital mock-up, I can definitely tell that the hardcover looks much more beautiful. And of course, make sure to check out all the rewards and the tiers available in this Kickstarter campaign, because not only for the hardcovers, Alpha Clash The Awakening is a part of a card game, graphic novel, and the universe of Alpha Clash, and there are so many additional stuff and merchandise. Make sure to check out the Kickstarter campaign before it ends too. And moving on to the third Kickstarter campaign, this will be for something that is massively successful, but in my opinion, it is incredibly disappointing. Not gonna lie, in my opinion, it is incredibly disappointing. And this is for the Cradle Kickstarter for the book 4 until book 6. So I actually backed the first 3 hardcovers, but not the 4 leather edition. Will Wight and his team has made the decision to actually not do the standard hardcover anymore. And for international readers, this is a huge slap in the face because it means it is now kind of impossible for us to actually get, depending on where you live anyway, but where I live, it is indeed the case. It is now impossible for me to actually get the hardcover edition signed, the standard hardcover edition of Cradle signed by Will Wight, because they have decided to vanish the option for it. So now, if you're going to back this special edition, you can only back the 4 leather edition. If you are in America, well, I think it is probably good for you because you can still buy the standard hardcover edition, because as Will Wight said, it will be available everywhere in Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble doesn't ship everywhere, okay? Saying that it is available everywhere around the world is such a misconception. And even then, I do not think the standard hardcover in Barnes & Noble will be signed. And for me, if I actually want to get the hardcover edition, I have to buy from Amazon, and well, the shipping price is absolutely insane. Let's just leave it at that. I think if they wanted to do this from the first place, from the first Kickstarter campaign, they should have just do it only for the 4 leather edition. They shouldn't have left the standard hardcover as an option. It's really disappointing in my opinion. So no, I would not be backing this one, but come on, Will Wight doesn't need my money anyway. I think the Kickstarter campaign is like $1 million funded already, so yeah, No judgment from me whatsoever though if you decide to back the Kickstarter campaign. I am not trying to cancel Will Wight or anything. I love the Cradle series, but I'm just saying that for a Kickstarter campaign, this one is very disappointing for me. Plus, I do not think the content actually has a lot of features besides one character art per book and also chapter headers. That's it. I think this, compared to so many Kickstarter campaign, is just so inferior in my opinion. And moving on to the next one, for the remaining two Kickstarter campaign, both of them haven't gone live yet. I think both of them will actually go live within this month, in the month of October. And the first one will be for Herald by Rob J. Hayes. Remember that this Kickstarter campaign will be for 3 books, and all 3 are the first volumes in 3 series, all of them taking place in the same universe. So consider it this way, this will be the first volume in 3 sub-series taking place in one series titled The Age of the God Eater. Very excited about this one, and I think the Kickstarter campaign will actually go live on the 9th of October, so a week from now. Make sure to check out the Kickstarter campaign page because you can actually click notify me now if you want, well, if you want to check out the Kickstarter campaign. I think right now there is, I think more than 600 people are now waiting for the Kickstarter campaign to go live, and I hope it will succeed. Rob J. Hayes has talked about his project for this one, so, well, plenty of times for the past few years, and as a fan of his books, I am really looking forward to this one because it is shaping up to be his most ambitious and epic series in his career so far. And for the final Kickstarter campaign to spotlight today, this will be for The Shadow Watch by Klopfenstein. The cover art will be done by Rachel St. Clair. The interior artworks will be done by Andrew Maleski and also Omer Burak Onal. Just like Herald by Rob J. Hayes, this one hasn't gone live yet. The Kickstarter campaign for this one will take place at the end of October. But so far, the preview, whether it's the cover art and also the interior artworks, I think all of them looks really nice. And yes, just like Herald, the Kickstarter campaign page for this one is available now. Make sure to check it out. So that's it for the section of Kickstarter campaign. For the next 5 or 6, this will be for special editions that aren't a part of Kickstarter campaign. And the first one is something that I'm really excited about, but I do not think it will be possible for me to attain them. This will be for the Fairyloot edition of Red Rising Trilogy by Pierce Brown, the Iron edition. Fairyloot has previously done their own edition for the Red Rising Trilogy, but this Iron edition seems like it will be a step up compared to their previous edition for the Red Rising Trilogy. And yeah, the cover art and also the back foil will be done by Michaela Alcaino. Some of you might know Michaela. She is the illustrator behind Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mohanty. Yeah, she is the one who did the cover art for that book, and it turned out very gorgeous. Just like this special edition for Red Rising Trilogy by Fairyloot. I think for this one, you can actually buy the book. The general sale, if I'm not mistaken, will take place in the middle of November 2023. The problem is, it will be available for those who are subscribers of Fairyloot first, I think on the previous day. So if it's sold out on the pre-sale, then it will not go into general sales. Yeah, I guess I will just have to keep my fingers crossed that it will be available for us who are waiting for the general sale, but I do not think it is likely. I will just say though that this special edition looks really nice. And moving on to the next one, although it might not be possible for us to attain the Iron edition for the Red Rising Trilogy Fairyloot edition, for this next one, it will be for the Sword of Kaigen special edition by Page and Wick. And yes, this one currently at the time of recording this video is still available to get. And if you want to get yourself a copy of a special edition of the Sword of Kaigen, just in case you missed the Raid Mark edition, I think you should do it as soon as possible before it's sold out. I think it's really near sold out. Page and Wick has revealed the cover art and also the naked cover art plus the 2 end papers that will be features inside their edition of the Sword of Kaigen, and yeah, they look really nice. I have no idea whether this one will actually top Raid Mark's edition or not. I guess we will find out whether the quality of the paper and the binding will be as good. Let's move on to the next special edition. This will be for The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series. Unlike the usual special edition, this one will be published by Gollancz. So the cover art and also the end paper will be done by Edward Bettinson, and not gonna lie, the special edition do look pretty, but at the same time, I'm kinda worried that this one won't actually match the price. I mean, the price is actually £75. It will be signed and it will be, I think it will have 750 copies. but I do not think it will have acid-free paper and also soon binding, and there are no interior artworks, so I have no idea whether this special edition will actually be worth the price or not. It does look pretty though, I will give it that. But for the next one, here is something that I know will be worth the price. Let's talk a bit about The Fall by Ryan Cahill, the Broken Binding Press Edition. Ryan Cahill and the Broken Binding has just went insanely all out on their special edition of The Fall. I am talking about 3 full-color interior artworks by Randy Vargas, Felix Ortiz, Rene Eichner, and then 4 black and white interior artworks by Felix Ortiz. And then there is also the super epic and stunning color and paper by Omer Burak Onal. And there is also a naked hardcover foil. On top of that, by buying this special edition, you will get an art print by Rene Eichner. So it is just so insane. And the price I think will be around 50 or 60 pounds if I'm not mistaken. So basically around the same price as their edition for Of Blood and Fire. And yes, it will come with soon binding and also acid-free paper. So just from the preview, I can tell that the Broken Binding Press Edition will be more worth it than, let's say, the previous edition of For the Lies of Locke Lamora published by Gollancz. So far, anyway. And right now, I do not think Ryan Cahill or the Broken Binding has actually revealed the date to actually purchase the book, but I think it will come within this year. So yeah, not long from now. And speaking of the Broken Binding, the remaining 2 special editions will be published by them as well. And the first one I want to showcase will be for Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. Broken Binding has revealed the foil on the front, spine, and back hardcover by Katrina Paints, and it will feature and paper and spray edges by Rene Eichner. Although I have read only Aragon, and right now I'm still not sure whether I will continue reading the Inheritance Cycle or not, this special edition of Murtagh definitely looks stunning. And finally, the last special edition to showcase today will be for The King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, the 10th anniversary edition by the Broken Binding. This one will come with the same cover art as the Grim Oak Press edition, the one that is done by Jason Chan. But do note that the Broken Binding edition will not come with an interior artworks, okay? It will be different compared to the Grim Oak Press edition, even though it will have the same cover art. So if you are a fan of the Broken Empire and you want a more affordable special edition, I think, well, this is your chance to get yourself a copy. So that's a wrap on the topic of Kickstarter campaign and also special edition. Now let's talk about some book news. The first one is just a small update, well, a big update for me. This is from Brandon Sanderson regarding the Stormlight Archive Book 5. So Brandon Sanderson has mentioned that the draft, I think the first draft for the Stormlight Archive Book 5 is now at ping 76%. That's what he usually says, right, in his updates. But yeah, 76%. It's only a quarter left, and I think knowing Brandon Sanderson, he can probably achieve this before the year ends. I'm really excited about this. As some of you probably know, this is my most anticipated book release right now, and I cannot wait to read this one next year. Hopefully next year. Knights of Wind and Truth currently is slated to be released in November 2024. And for the next topic, this is just a heads up that there is a big discount going on right now for the ebook of The Recluse Saga and More by Le Modicit. I haven't read anything by Modicit yet, but I think right now on Humble Bundle, you can actually get more than 30 books by him for only $18. And yes, this is official. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the money will actually be donated to charity. So yeah, I think it's a plus-plus situation. More than 30 books for only $18. And moving on to the next one, in one of my SFF Spotlight episodes, I have showcased the launch of epic fantasy audiobooks created by Zach Argyle. Basically, this channel is where you can actually listen to some indie fantasy books for free on their YouTube channel. And yes, that channel is still available, but today I want to showcase another channel, and that is for John Arbaugh's epic urban fantasy series that starts with Guild of Tokens, and the second book is Guild of Magic. You can check out the audiobook of the first book, Guild of Tokens, for free on his YouTube channel. I haven't actually read this series yet, but I like the concept. What if there was a real-life Dungeons & Dragons game happening in New York City with real-life quests being given out in secret over the internet? And the cover art for this series is illustrated by the famous Felix Ortiz. So if you're someone who loves audiobook and you love urban fantasy, I highly recommend you to check out this YouTube channel. Why not? It's free anyway. I mean, I personally certainly look forward to reading this one. I think I don't read a lot of urban fantasy, especially the one that takes place in our world, and I definitely have this one on my radar. And for the next one, this will be regarding Tolkien's books. So in November, the 4-box set for the History of Middle-earth will be reprinted, and this one will have the first edition of Silmarillion and the Unfinished Tales reprinted. And yeah, it will come with a double-sided cover art, I think, with the one illustrated by John Howe and also the original cover art of the History of Middle-earth. So if you're a Tolkien fan and you want to read further behind the main content and you want to know more about the creation of Middle-earth, this is your chance. You can finally get an easier access to the physical copies and box set of the History of Middle-earth starting in November. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, the next topic I want to showcase will be about Lord of the Rings video game. So this will be called Tales of the Shire, and it will be about cozy hobbit life. Yeah, I think this game sounds fun, something to relax with, and beyond that, I don't think we have any substantial information regarding Tales of the Shire so far anyway. But right now, I know a lot of fantasy fans are waiting for this game, especially those who love cozy fantasy and also the Lord of the Rings. And finally, one more topic, and then we will talk a bit about manga and anime, and then we will talk about cover reveals and noteworthy release. And for this one, Edan Books has mentioned they are investing more than $1 million to do a webcomic edition for self-published and also indie fantasy books that they publish. I think this is an amazing project, and they are working with Webtoon and a lot of other companies for this one. And well, this could be something really exciting to look forward to. I certainly hope that it will be something great, especially because I do read a lot of manga and manhwa as well. And with that in mind, the next topic I want to talk about, and let's move on to the topic of manga and anime. This will be a brief one, and for this one I want to talk about, well, Attack on Titan. Apparently there is an announcement there will be a new Attack on Titan, but it is only about 18 pages long. That's it. We have no idea whether this will be a continuation to the ending of Attack on Titan or not, or this is something, well, completely new. We have no idea. But I'm not sure. I mean, if this gets animated, what will be the title of the anime? Final, or what? I have no idea. But do let me know if you love Attack on Titan, whether you are excited about this or not. And finally, for the anime topic, the season 2 of Spy Family will premiere on October 7, 2023. So only a few days from now. And well, I'm excited about that. I love Spy Family, but I look forward whether the season 2 will be better than season 1 or not. Because so far, although I enjoyed season 1, I do like the manga more. Somehow I just like the manga more. But I cannot deny the voice actor behind Anya, the Japanese voice actor, has done such an excellent job. Waku waku, right? That's all the manga and anime topic I want to spotlight in today's episode. So let's move on to talking about cover reveals. I have 6 books to spotlight today, and the first cover reveal will have to go to the Song of the Mysteries by Jenny Wirtz. We're talking about a final novel 50 years, more than 50 years in the making. This is a lifetime series. Yes, it takes almost the entire lifetime of Jenny Wirtz to complete Wars of Light and Shadow, and I think I have to give a well-rounded applause to her, because this is incredible. More than 50 years of working on the same series, and it is finished. The cover art is done, of course, by the author herself, Jenny Wirtz, and the release date for this one right now, I think it's May 2024. I know I have mentioned many times that I want to start Curse of the Mistwraith within this year, and hey, it is still possible, okay? It is still possible that I will start reading Curse of the Mistwraith within this year, but it all depends on my reading mood, because this is a huge commitment and I want to make sure that I am in the right reading mood for it. But I know that the end is in sight, and I think that is a huge plus for me to dive into Wars of Light and Shadow. And the same notion should be applicable to all of you who haven't started reading the series as well, especially if you love complex and intricate epic fantasy series. And for the next one, Kill the Dragon, Find the Blade, reclaim her honor. This is, I think, such a stunning cover art. This one is done by Martina Fajkova, and the title of this book is The Fireborne Blade by Charlotte Bonne. I haven't read anything by Charlotte Bonne yet, and this one will be released in the year 2024. But again, as I said, this cover art is magnificent. Love this cover art so much. When I saw this, it immediately grabbed my attention. That's why I love Martina Fajkova's cover art. The majority of the time, her cover art always grabbed my attention, just like it did for The Justice of Kings and The Tyranny of Fate by Richard Swan. And with this kind of cover art, I do not think I need to know anything else. I will definitely try to read this one as soon as possible. And the same notion also goes to the next cover art I want to reveal. And the name of this book will be The Foul Days by Genoveva Dimova. I apologize if I mispronounce the name, but the cover art for this one is done by Rovina Kai. But the cover art for The Foul Days is done by Rovina Kai. Rovina Kai has done so many amazing artworks. Not only cover art, but also interior artworks. Just like the special edition for the Lyra Books edition of Coraline by Neil Gaiman. It's so stunning, and I think we can agree that this cover art of The Foul Days looks beautiful as well. This has been pitched as The Witcher meets Naomi Novik in a fast-paced, Slavic-inspired fantasy novel. I do love Witcher video games. I am 50-50 right now on Naomi Novik's books. I think you know my thoughts on Uprooted and also Spinning Silver. Love Spinning Silver, absolutely dislike Uprooted. Hopefully, Foul Days will be great, and the release date for this one will be June 2024. I have certainly added this book to my TBR pile, and I look forward to reading it next year. We still have 3 more cover reveals to spotlight, and then we will move on to the final section of SFF Spotlight. And the next one I want to showcase is the UK cover art for The Hidden Queen by Peter V. Brett. And hey, I think this UK cover art actually looks better compared to the US cover art. Do let me know whether you prefer the UK cover art or the US cover art of The Hidden Queen. But unfortunately, although I do think that the UK cover art of this one looks great, I do not think, because I have read the first book, The Desert Prince, well, I won't be reading this one. I have no interest in continuing with the series. I think Demon Cycle should have ended with Demon Cycle. But if you are a fan of the series, well, do let me know whether you're excited about The Hidden Queen or not. And speaking of being excited, the next one is something that I'm excited about because I do love the first book, but I haven't continued reading the series yet. This will be for The Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Ronhorst, the third and the final book of the Between Earth and Sky trilogy. The cover art for this one is done by John Picasso, and well, I love Black Sun, but although I love Black Sun, I still haven't continued to the sequel of Fevered Star because I know I will have to do a second read of the entire series before the release of The Mirrored Heavens. And now, with the release date of The Mirrored Heavens in sight for the year 2024, I think I can begin planning my reread of Black Sun and then continue with the series to the end. And for the final cover reveals I want to spotlight today, this will be for the third novella in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio, The Drags of Empire. So this one I think will revolve around a character named Lorien, and I have no idea who the cover artist is. I will have to ask Christopher Ruocchio about this, but I'm not actually a fan of this cover art, which is something really rare for Christopher Ruocchio's books because I consider the Sun Eater series to feature some of the best cover art in the entire sci-fi or space opera genre. The cover art for the Sun Eater, all of them looks terrific, but not this one. I am not a fan of this cover art. It looks a bit too cartoonish. Maybe it fits the character, I'm not sure, because it is said that you should read this book only after you're done with the 5th book of the series, Ashes of Men. And of course, I haven't reached that one yet. And because I'm talking about the Sun Eater right now, my review of Empire of Silence will premiere tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow. I hope you will look forward to watching that. I have a lot of thoughts I want to share. And now let's move on to the final section of SFF Spotlight, and that is to talk about, well, new noteworthy release. And the first one I want to mention is The Return to Edan by Philip Chase. This is the 3rd book in the Edan trilogy, and this means that Philip Chase has succeeded at publishing his entire trilogy within a year, March, June, and September. absolutely incredible job, and I look forward to continuing with the series. I enjoyed reading The Way of Edan. I hope The Prophet of Edan and also The Return to Edan will be even better than The Way of Edan. And the next release I want to spotlight will be for The Crown of Omens by E.J. Doble. This will be a prequel novella to his main series, The Blood and Steel Saga, a grimdark fantasy series that has certainly earned my interest, but I still haven't started reading it. The title of the first book is The Fangs of War, and also the title of the second book is The Horns of Grief. And I think the cover art to the third book, The Crown of Omens, is the best one of the three books so far, even though it is a novella. But E.J. Doble has mentioned that it is possible to start your journey with The Crown of Omens instead of The Fangs of War, because it is a prequel novella that supposedly doesn't require any information from The Fangs of War or The Horns of Grief to enjoy. And it will feature, I think, 10 POV chapters in one novella. I have no idea how that will work, but I think that is an interesting premise. And for the next release to spotlight, it will have to be The Ice by Ryan Cahill. This is, again, the third novella in the Bound and the Broken series. And well, I mean, I think many of you know that I am a fan of the Bound and the Broken series, and The Ice is, well, right now it has probably, if I'm not mistaken, more than 4.8 average rating on Goodreads. That is absolutely insanely high. It is a very high average rating, and it is a great novella, not gonna lie. So if you are a fan of The Bound and the Broken, make sure to pick up this novella. It features Aeson, one of the most important characters in the Bound and the Broken series. Some could argue that he is the main character in the main series of The Bound and the Broken, depending on your perspective anyway. I will mention though, even though The Ice is a prequel, chronologically is a prequel to Of Blood and Fire, I do not think you can actually enjoy this to the fullest unless you have actually read the main books first. I still have 2 more books to spotlight today, and the next one will be for The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. This is the first book in his newest series. I do not think it takes place in the Books of Babel series, and I have actually owned the review copy for The Hexologists. I hope I won't end up giving this one a negative rating just like I did for The Fall of Babel. I have received so many criticisms and hate comments on my thoughts regarding The Fall of Babel, but you know what? It is my honest thoughts, okay? I have to give it that, but I still look forward to reading The Hexologist because I love Josiah Bancroft's prose. I just hope that the story direction and the characterizations in The Hexologist will match my reading taste this time. Finally, for the last noteworthy release to spotlight today, and also the last topic of today's video, this is regarding The Secret Projects by Brandon Sanderson. So if you do not want to know the title or the cover art of The Secret Project 4, well, skip this one right now. Here's the timestamp. Make sure to skip it, okay, to the conclusion. The title of the 4th Secret Project is The Sunlit Man. For the Kickstarter backers of the Secret Project novel, well, we now have access to the ebook. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, a week from now, even though you don't back the Kickstarter campaign, you can actually purchase the ebook, the exact same ebook that we Kickstarter campaign backers get on Amazon and many other bookstores, if I'm not mistaken anyway, because that's usually the case. And I love the cover art of this one so much. And on top of that, just a reminder that Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, the standard hardcover edition for the US and the UK edition, is available to purchase now as well. The release date is October 3rd. This one has a cover art done by Tran Nguyen. It is unfortunate that the standard edition will not have the interior artworks done by Alia Chen, but also understandable, okay? So yeah, I think that's it. That's really the end of the noteworthy release section and also the end of today's SFF Spotlight episode. You basically just watch more than 30 topics in one video. I hope I have been brief. I know editing this video will be a bit of a pain because it will take me hours to do, but I do hope it has been worth it for all of you. As I said, the next episode hopefully will not take 2 weeks again because yeah, I do not want to wait until I have more than 30 topics to spotlight. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me today. Do let me know what you think about the news that I spotlighted in today's episode. And as always, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.